Hello guys, so today is a very exciting day because I'm going to be introducing our new planner. This is the first planner that we're launching in our shop and it will be available for the year of 2023, and we're going to be starting the pre-order process on September 1st and it will end on September 15th. And after the pre-order is over, we're going to send in the order, and I'm hoping that everything will get shipped out in November. Everyone is guaranteed a notebook if you purchase it through pre-order, and there's no limit on how many you can order. So if you guys have been following me on Instagram and also Facebook, you know that you have probably seen bits and pieces of this planner. But in this video, I'm going to try to include all of the information in one video, so you can just reference this video for all of the information. And please watch this video carefully because you cannot cancel or return a pre-order. I'm going to include chapters for this video so you can locate the information that you're looking for immediately. So the first thing I want to talk about is the name Common Planner. The word common comes from Commonplace Notebook, and many of you are very familiar with it. It's basically a notebook where you can write down ideas and things you've learned on the way that have inspired you. It could be conversations that you've had with people. I know some people also journal in it. It's an idea that's been around for probably 1,000 years or more. I personally also keep a commonplace planner in the back of. I'm doing that in the back of Hobonichi, but starting from 2023, obviously I'll be using this. We wanted to design a hybrid planner notebook that has minimum structure and allows for maximum functionality and creativity, so that you can basically use this for anything you want, and there's really nothing prohibiting you from doing that. And if you want to keep it completely minimal, you can. If you want to decorate it to your heart's content, you can. I am really in love with these planners, and I can't wait to talk more about this. So this is a B6 size planner, and I would say this is the Japanese B6 size, meaning that the size of it will be very similar. Well, actually, this portion is exactly the same as Stalogy B6 size, and the thickness is slightly thicker than the Stalogy because it also has a lot more pages in here. The full year contains about 520 pages, and the half year, each book has about, I think, a little over 260 pages. So it's quite a lot, and this is possible because we're using the Tomoe River paper. So like I said, you have two options. You can either get the full year option or you can get the 2 half-year bundle option. And both options come with 2 color choices. This is the black linen texture paper cover, and this is the mauve leatherette texture. It's also a textured paper. We wanted to go with textured paper because it is more eco-friendly than PU leather. And these are soft cover, as you can see, so I can bend it quite easily. It just feels like a book, and it has this intimate feel to it. And then I wanted to mention that if you are getting the half-year option, what you can do is you can choose a mauve for the first half of the year, and you can choose a black for the second half, or vice versa. You have that option. We are going to try to figure out how to do this, but I'm pretty sure it won't be that hard. So you have the option of selecting which color you want for the first book and the second book. And then I'm just referencing my notes so I don't ramble on. The Tomoe River paper that we're using is 52 GSM white Tomoe River paper. I know that's really important for people, so it is the white Tomoe River paper, not the cream color like the Hobonichi Weeks. This is a dated planner for 2023, and we have a yearly overview. We have dated quarterly pages. We have a goal breakdown spread, which I'll show you later in detail, but I just want to quickly go over what's inside. And we have monthly spreads, and then we have vertical weekly layouts, as well as blank grid pages in the back, enough for 1 day per page, and they will be numbered. So it's just a blank grid paper with a page number on the bottom, which we didn't include here, but we will be doing that for the actual product. These are samples. And the planner is Monday start. And the full year notebook has 365 page blank grid pages in the back, and the half year has 183 blank pages. And I'll include the content of the planner down in the description so you can reference that really quickly. As you can see, this planner will also have the gold edge. We were debating whether to do that or not, but we had really good feedback from all of you, so we will do that. And I personally really love it. I think it just adds that something extra, and it really makes it special. So I'm really happy that you guys really liked it. And this also opens completely flat, as you can see. This is a new planner and it opens completely flat. And I'll show you what the spine looks like when it's open flat. You can see that that's very pliable, like that. And then the half year also opens completely flat as well. There's no issue there. So let's talk about the cover design. I've kept the cover very minimal. We put all the information on the lower right. So you can either keep it really minimal or you can sticker it up with vinyl stickers to decorate it. So here it says 2023, which is the year of this planner, and B6 size, and this is the full year planner. And the name of the planner again is Common Planner. And on the spine, we also included the year of the planner and the size. So hopefully in the future we can release more sizes for this planner, but this year we're only doing B6 as we are a small shop, so we can't really keep such a large inventory with different options. So that's the B6 size, and I can't wait to have just a stack of these over the years and have them on my shelf to reference. So I think that's going to be really beautiful. On the back side, you have the Common Planner designed by Sterling Inc., which is our company. And for the half year, it's the same pretty much. So it says 2023 B6 Part 1, meaning the first half of the book. So this is from January to June. And then there will be a part 2, which is July through December. And this is called Common Planner. And on the spine, we used a different type of binding just for the sample, but it will be the same type of binding here. That's why there's a crease here. So don't worry about that. It will be stuck to the spine. It also says 2023 B6 Part 1 as well. And on the back, it says Common Planner designed by Sterling Inc. So there's nothing different from that. There's nothing different between the two except for the part 1 and part 2. So now I already talked about the cover of the planner. Again, they're available. The two choices are available for both the full year and the half year. And we chose the textured paper soft cover over the other materials such as peel leather because it is more eco-friendly. And I love the soft cover because did I already mention that? Because I really like the soft cover. Look at how that looks. It's just so, it feels like a really nice paperback book, except that it is my story. And this is how the half year looks. It's just very pliable. It feels really good in my hands. And if you can either use this just alone, or you can use a leather cover, obviously, or you can also, I know a lot of people also use a clear cover on top of that. And then the size of this, which I think I already covered, I'm not sure, but this is the B6 size, and we chose B6 size because I feel like B6 is sort of that perfect middle ground where it's large enough to write everything that I need to write and it's also small enough that I can carry it in my bag if I want to. And in this planner design, we also maximize the space so that I can fit as much information as you want in this planner. The actual dimension of this, which I will leave down below as well, it is 128 millimeter by 182 millimeter, which is a standard Japanese B6 size notebook, and the thickness of this planner is 16.5 millimeters, so I can do some comparison to other planners. And then the half year is 1 centimeter, which is 10 millimeter. So I can compare this to the thickness of this to, I have a Nanami planner, Nanami notebook, so it is slightly thicker. You can see that, not too much. And I have a Hobonichi Cousin, which is pretty much the same, I would say. And then some of you have the Franklin Covey, so it's pretty much the same, I would say. And Wonderland 222. Maybe this is an interesting one because the Wonderland 222 is smaller, so you can see it's narrower and shorter as well, and it's also thinner than our planner. I will also be comparing our layout with the other planners just so you can get an idea of how that looks and how much bigger or smaller it is compared to other planners. So it is the same size as Stalogy, is just 0.1 inch thicker than a Stalogy. So it's really not that much thicker. So now let's go into the actual layout and design of the inside of the planner. So when you first open it, you just have this blank end paper that you can decorate using vellum or stickers. And then you have the 2023 B6 full year again. And then you have the yearly calendar. Let me bring this up closer so you can see. We have no holidays here, and we have marked out the week number on the side so you can reference that. And it is a Monday start. Again, it's just really minimal. After that, you have two pages of blank grid paper, and you can use this to decorate it as a vision board. You can, print out your own vision board and just tape it on, or you can decorate it here. You can use this as an index for the daily pages in the back, so it's easy to access. And you can also write out your main goal here and then do an index here. Up to you. And you can, I know a lot of people also do word of the year, so you can also use this for that. After this, you have 2 pages of goal breakdown. If you're familiar with my channel, you know how much I love breaking down my goals. And a lot of people have also asked me to create a planner with this exact setup. So here it is. I did it, guys. I have goal breakdown here, and again, we're keeping it very, very minimal. So if this is not your thing, you can easily cover this top strip by using a washi tape or like a white washi tape, whatever you want to use, some stickers. Then you can use the bottom portion as a place to write down like routines or lists, or you can use this as an index page. There are so many options, and that's why we made it very, very minimal up top. But if you are interested in using this goal breakdown, I can explain quickly. So on the left hand side, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories, or you can split them to make more, or you can combine them to make less. You can create the category yourself, and then someday is for your someday goal. You can write that down, and then you can write out what your vision for the end of the year is. So these goals might be reading books, or fitness goals, or career goals, or family goals. It can be anything. And then you can break that down further down into half-year goals, quarterly goals. Then you can split that into monthly goals or tasks. And then that gets broken down even more into weekly tasks and then daily tasks. And then what it is basically you will reference this page when you're setting up your quarterly pages if you want to. And then also when you're setting up monthly and weekly and daily pages, you can also reference this page to include these goals as part of your daily planning. So that's what it is, and I use this religiously. I used to print this out and tape it onto my planner, but now I can just write directly here. After that, we have the quarterly pages. So you get 2 pages per quarter. On the left-hand side, I can bring this up closer. So this is Q1, which is January until March. I have 1 section for priority. So that is the priority for the quarter, which you can reference here, or it could be something else. Maybe it's some events, special events that's happening in this quarter you want to remember, or you can write down birthdays, celebrations, holidays, and such. Then you have 1 section per month. So you have January, February, March. You can again write down goals or events, special things happening, things you need to plan for and such. Or you can use this as a place to reflect and review the month. And then on the right hand side, we have, you can use this either as like an index or tracker, whatever you want to do. You can track your steps, you can track your reading, you can track your workouts, or you can use this again as like a place to review that month. So you can do highlight of the day. The options are endless. Then, and then let me just quickly mention that in this planner we have no color except for just gray, darker gray and lighter gray. So we did circle the weekends. So obviously the first circle would be Saturday and the second circle is Sunday. So that's how you differentiate the weekends. We wanted to keep it very, very minimal. So you have quarter 2, quarter 3, and then quarter 4. And then after that, you jump into the monthly layout. So we did include December of this year for this next year planner, because I wanted to just have that option for you guys in case you do want to back plan and include your December plans here to reference. And we also included January for the next year. So 2024, so you can forward plan. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it, obviously. This is just there for your use if you want to use that. One thing I've done before with something like this is I would use it as a place to write down monthly routine, and I can also add in a weekly routine by breaking this down. So yeah, you can choose to ignore it or make it into something different. So let me just show you the January spread to show you what this looks like. The monthlies are gridded. All the grids are the same throughout the entire planner, and it is 3.7 by 3.9. If that doesn't sound like anything to you, then I can say that this is pretty much the same as the cousin one, maybe very, very slightly different, but you won't be able to even tell when you compare the two. If you look at this, everything's gridded, and you can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, which means when you have a month like January here where you have 6 weeks, the extra 2 days would not be squashed. And I know that's very important for some people. Here I have included the week numbers. Again, very small on the side. And what I personally like to do is I like to just put down important tasks for that whole week when I am pre-planning on the left-hand side. So later I know to check those off. And then obviously you can use the extra space for either decoration or maybe some mini goals or trackers. So that's that. And I think at this point I should compare it. I did a comparison on Instagram, but I will do it again so that you can just reference this one video. And I know some people don't have Instagram, so they might not have seen it. So you can see that this is Hobonichi Cousin, by the way, if you're not familiar already. So this is the Hobonichi Cousin box, right? So this top portion is not gridded, the bottom portion is. So I will be comparing our monthly square with that. Our column is 1 grid narrower than the cousin column. So that's 1 grid narrower. But if I just compare this height to the grid portion, it's slightly higher. I don't know if you can see. If you're comparing to this entire height, then obviously it's this much shorter. So that's the difference. And I know, like for example here, the cousin, the 2 days would be squashed, but ours will not be like here. So that's the difference. And you can also see the color difference. This is much darker and this is lighter. And there's no colors like the Hobonichi Cousin. So that's, I think, what's really important to people. So I wanted to show you the comparison right there. And again, no holidays. So you have all of the months here. And let's go into the weekly. like I mentioned, the weekly, well, it starts from January 1st, obviously, but I'll just show you the first full week of January. So it is a vertical weekly layout. As you can see, the weekends have their own columns, so it's not stacked. And again, we wanted the layout to be really, really minimal. So some of the features, let me show you, is that we have a schedule timeline here, and it starts from 6 a.m. to midnight. And if I'm sure you've already noticed, but it's not military time. So afternoon, it starts from 1 again. And for some people, they might not care, but I think it's really nice for people who have night shifts, because then you can flip your day a little bit. So then your day can start from, you know, the evening, and then this could be the morning time. Obviously, that messes up the dates a little bit, but you can just set the day as starting from here. And I think that's nice. And I think we all know the top can be either AM or PM, and then the bottom can be AM or PM, depending on if you're doing night shift or not. On the left hand side, you have this extra column to write down important tasks, or however you guys want to use it, really. And then here we have the overview of that month calendar, and we just circled the current month here, and this also includes the week number up here as well. So that's what it looks like. And now I think I need to show you guys, oh wait, and then I have to mention that we have 3 extra grid here, and then 3 extra grid here. I'll show you guys what the size looks like. So I just printed this for my own reference, so I will compare that with the cousin layout. So it is 1 grid narrower. Our vertical column is 1 grid narrower than the cousin, but if you're just comparing to the grid portion of the cousin, obviously this portion is blank. Some people use it, some people don't. I'm not counting that. If we start from the top of the grid, then we are 1, 2, 3, 4 grids shorter than the Hobonichi cousin, and the Hobonichi cousin starts from 5 a.m. and ends on 4 a.m. So, and it's military time. So everything else is pretty much very similar. And the weekly, I know some people ask me to compare it to other planners. So the Jibun Techo, I can compare it. Our column is 1 grid wider than the Jibun Techo B6 Slim. So this is a B6 Slim. And then I also have, this is No T planner. I bet the Jibun Techo is very similar to this, the A5 Slim. So I wanted to compare this for you guys. So if you compare our column to the Jibun, this is not Jibun Techo, this is a No T, and our column is also wider than the A5. This is A5 Slim, and ours is B6. So ours is wider than that. And someone did ask about Wonderland 222 as well. So let me, okay, here. So ours is 1 grid and a little bit extra narrower than the Wonderland, but their weekends are stacked, so they're able to have a wider column. So this is our layout, and this is Wonderland, just for your reference. And I'm just trying to answer as many questions that were brought up as possible, so that's why I'm doing these comparisons for you guys. And then now, I know this number is getting a little bit pushed to the edge. We're fixing that. We're going to push it in 1 grid just when we're doing that marker. So it shouldn't affect the Sunday column that much because the color is also very light. But I personally think that when you are flipping through your planner, it's very helpful to have this marker on the side. So now let's go into the daily pages. The daily page is just blank, completely blank, except that we put in a marker right here. Let me zoom in. So like right here, here, and here. So that's the midpoint for the vertical line and also the horizontal line, so that we can give you some sort of marker if you want to draw out your own layout because I personally find it to be really helpful, and I didn't want to make it too obvious, so I only included 4, and then you can obviously further divide it into more columns. I personally like to split my page into half. So like for example, I like to write like this, and my brain just works better when I have a narrower column. So now let me compare the size of this to the Hobonichi Cousin dailies, because I thought this was pretty interesting. So this is Hobonichi Cousin, obviously, and if I compare the daily, our daily grid from where the grid starts, it is 1, 2, 3, 4 narrow, grid narrower. But if I put it up to where the top of the grid starts, then it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grid longer. So I mean, for those of you who are curious. And I didn't calculate how many grids difference it is. I bet it's pretty similar, but that's just the comparison. So now I'm just checking my notes to make sure that I haven't missed anything. So for the dailies, we're adding a page number on the bottom right, and we did run a poll on Instagram, and it is extra to add the page number for us to make this, but we did kind of lower down that price a little bit with the manufacturer. So we're just going to eat up the cost, and we're not adding anything extra to the original price that we have decided for this planner, because we did want to provide the best possible product for you guys. So I'm happy that we were able to work that out a little bit with the fabricator. That's that. And then I want to, and I just to reiterate in case people forgot already, but the full year includes 365 pages of blank pages, and then the half year includes 183 pages of blank notes for each. So total will be around the same as the full year. Now I want to talk about ways that you can use this planner. So the first option is how I would be using it. I will be using the monthly for pre-planning and also writing down my main deadlines, meetings, appointments. And then I would use my weekly as the main to-do list, meetings, appointments, and like even more specific things. And then the back side, the blank notebook, I will be using this as my commonplace notebook, where I will be also journaling as well and brain dump, and basically it's going to be my everything notebook. And I think what you can also do is, I know a lot of people cannot finish 365 pages if you're using it as a daily setup. So what you can actually do is you can check the page number and split it into different portions, and you can dedicate a certain section for, I don't know, maybe it could be like your reading journal, for example. Like you can dedicate like 100 pages for reading journal, like 100 pages for like your baby journal or something like that. So I think that's why I love this, because you can basically morph it into anything you want to. And if you're using it for, work setting, then you can use the dated portion for keeping meetings, project deadlines, and blah, blah, blah. And then the back, you can use it for meeting notes. And it would be really nice to have a reference and say, like, you had a meeting somewhere, right, on January 3rd. You can say, hey, the meeting notes is on page 20. And it's just a really nice reference, and you have everything in one place. Same thing with if you're journaling yourself, then you can definitely do, hey, January 3rd, I put something important on the back on page blah, blah, blah. And it's really easy to find. And if you're a student, you can use the dated portion for keeping track of your homework, lectures and project deadlines. And then the back portion, because there's so many note pages, you can actually use this for, lecture notes, and have a nice neat system to organize that. You can, how neat would it be if you had a class on January 6th, for example, at 10 a.m. It's American history, let's just say, and then you can say my notes for that class is on page 25. Like, it's just I think that would be a really fun way to use this. I did, when I was going to college for this one semester, I used one Moleskine notebook for taking all of my lecture notes throughout that semester. And I did so well that semester because I really think handwriting notes is the best, at least for me, because I have to kind of like summarize what I learned right away instead of like just blindly typing out the notes. And option 2, so that's option 1. Option 2, you can also use this as a hybrid work and personal planner. I know a lot of people have questions like, oh, I want to use one notebook and I don't want to use multiple like planners, but how do I separate work from personal? Then what you can do is you can either choose to use the data portion for personal or work, and then the back can be for the other one. Exactly like how you would use a Stalogy, for example. I know a lot of people use Stalogy as their sole planner, and I did that for 2019 as well. I just drew out my own layout. Or you can also just buy printable inserts from different shops. There are so many shops that sell amazing planner inserts, so you can print those out and just like tape it in and make your own little planner in the back. So then that way you can have both work and personal in one book, but also separated. Then option number 3, you can use this as a memory keeping or archive journal, where I once used a planner like this for memory keeping. And what I did was, for the monthly, I would include one photo of my son every day. And it's just like really fun to look at that in one like spread, or you can just put down highlights if you want to. And then the weekly is for like logging like different events that happened that day, just like really concise, and you can sticker it up or add some decoration. And then the back portion of the daily pages can be, you know, just journaling, photo journaling, where you can actually insert as many photos as you want, and it's not dated, so you don't have that pressure of like doing it every day. Or if you wanted to use 5 pages a day, you can also do that. And if you had multiple kids, you can even split this up into different sections and say like page 1 to 100 could be for, you know, child number 1, and then, you know, 100 to 200 can be like child number 2. And I think that's a really neat idea. So these are the 3 ways that I thought of using this. And now let's talk about the pricing of the planners. We have finally finalized the pricing because there were a lot of things kind of up in the air, like, are we doing this, are we doing that? And I think at this point we've also heard your feedback. A lot of you wrote to me and said you like this, you don't like that, and blah blah blah. So and I would say like 98% of you were 98% of the feedback were overwhelmingly positive, so we're really, really thankful for that. For the pricing, the full year will be $48 US, and the half year bundle will be $56 US. The shipping for USA will be completely free, so if you live in the USA, you will qualify for free shipping for either option. And then shipping to Canada will be $6 US flat. And then for the rest of the world, it will be $8 US flat rate. And it is tracked shipping. So we did not raise the price, even though the planners are heavier. And that will increase our shipping cost, but we wanted to keep the shipping costs for you guys the same as the sticker orders. So they will stay exactly the same. And that applies to our sticker products as well. $6 and $8 for international, and for the USA, if you order over $35, it will be free shipping. That's for the sticker orders. So now let's talk about pre-order. Pre-order, like I mentioned before, it will start on September 1st. It is our first time setting up a pre-order, so we have to play around with different options. And I'm going to be on the computer like on September 1st, like glued on the computer, just in case like there are issues, but hopefully everything will run smoothly. In case there's something unforeseen has happened, then we will definitely notify you and tell you that it's being postponed, and if so, when it will be. So please follow us on Instagram and also Facebook if you don't have Instagram. And we'll also send you guys a newsletter letting you guys know the latest on that. So it will start on September 1st, midnight. You're guaranteed to have one. However many planners you order, you are guaranteed that number, so you don't have to freak out and order it when it opens. So I didn't want you guys to go through that, so you don't have to, be there when it first starts. But it will start on September 1st, midnight EST, which is the Eastern time. And then the last day to pre-order will be September 15th EST as well at midnight. And then we will make an official announcement through newsletter, Instagram, and Facebook as well to announce all of this information. And we'll probably put up a timer as well on the website. And I am assuming the planners will most likely ship out sometime in November. And again, I will let you guys know like the latest status as well on Instagram and all of these other platforms. So you guys can know if there's a delay or anything. You will be the first to know. And please do not combine this with your other orders, because this is shipping out, like I said, probably in November. If you combine your orders, everything will ship out at the in November. And if you do combine your order, it will slow down the process because we have to process that separately. And I just want to emphasize that again, please do not combine your orders, other orders with this planner, because it will mess up your shipping time. We did mention that for our subscription kits too, because if you order something with the subscription kit, everything ships out with the subscription. So we still get a lot of emails asking us where their orders are, and 100% of the time it has a subscription item. So I just wanted to emphasize that again, please do not combine your orders. Like I said, if you pre-order, you're guaranteed a planner, and there's no limit to how many planners you can order. And I also want to say that you cannot use any type of discount codes with these planners. So that's that. The planners and the subscription kits are not eligible for any sales or discount codes. So I think I've covered pretty much everything. The last thing I want to just show you guys is someone did ask me to do a pen test. I figured that you guys are probably already familiar with this, the Tomoe River paper. This is the Sanzen successor Tomoe River paper. It's not the original, obviously, because that has been discontinued. This is the Sanzen successor. But I just wanted to show you guys a pen test. So I did do some here using different types of pens. Like I said before, this is the 52 GSM white color Tomoe River paper. The first one is Vanishing Point. It's a fountain pen, and this is a fine nib. I don't know why I wrote fine point. The next one is Mont Blanc Rollerball, Zebra Sarasa. This is a popular one. I use the Marcon version, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference in terms of bleed through. This is a 0.4 millimeter that I used. Jetstream, I think, is 0.5 millimeter. Platinum Century 3776. That's also a fountain pen. This is the medium nib. Pentel sign pen. It's a really popular sign pen that everyone uses. Hobonichi freebie sign pen. This is one of my favorites. It was a freebie from one of the previous years. And then Sharpie Ultra Fine is right here. I use a mild liner. I just happened to not bring my marker pouch, so these two were the only highlighters that I had with me. Mild liner, this is the gray one, and then this is the Mogini line marker. And this is the Rotring mechanical pencil. Someone did ask me about mechanical pencil, how it writes onto my river paper, so I wanted to do that here. This is HB. And as you can see, there's no feathering whatsoever, even with the Sharpie. But if I flip it over, there's no bleed through except for the Sharpie. This is the only one that bled through. So don't use a Sharpie if you don't want to see that. But all the other ones, you definitely have ghosting because this is Tomoe River paper and it's very, very thin paper. So you will have ghosting for sure, but I'm sure most of you are familiar with that by now. So this is quite normal, but it does not actually bleed through like this. This actually bled through. So, but I would say that it handled it pretty well. Actually, it's just like certain parts because Sharpies are so dark. So yeah, that's what it is. And obviously it takes a little bit while to dry depending on what type of pen you're using, especially like vanishing point. I feel like it's a little bit wet, but unless you're like writing it something and then immediately closing it, you're fine. And it also depends on what kind of fountain pen ink you're using. I should probably do a video on my favorite pens because so many people have been asking me for that, so I'll probably get on that soon. But yeah, so I wanted to show you guys that. And yeah, so just to give you guys a final look, this is the black linen, which is a textured paper. It's not actual fabric, with gold stamp logo with gold edge. And we did decide to keep the gold edge for the final product, for those who are interested. And this is the mauve. This is also a paper cover, but it just has that leatherette type of texture. We really like this color so much. It's so beautiful. So if you were to ask me what I am using for next year, I will tell you right now, I cannot decide between a full year and a half year, so I'm going to be using both, but I will be using them for different things. So I think that I will use the full year for my personal all-in-one planning and commonplace notebook, and I'll be using the half year for my son, mainly just to keep track of like things related to him, because I did want to kind of have something separate for him to look at later on, with photos and such. I didn't want that to be mixed with my business, like my thoughts, my journaling. I wanted that to be a separate thing for him because it is a book for him. So I will be using the half year probably for him and then the full year for myself. And I do really like the half year option because that's what I'm using right now, from Wanichi. I like that idea in the middle of the year you can open up a new planner, and it's just really fun and exciting. But I'm also really attracted to the idea of having one thick notebook for yourself, and I'll be using it as my commonplace notebook. And I am still finalizing how I will keep a log of all the information in the back, but maybe I'll share that later when I'm set on that. And I'm really excited to just have a row of this with the different years, and have a master log to say, hey, reference 2023 this page, for this information. That would be really fun. So yeah, I will be using both. And in terms of color, I'll probably mix the mauve with the black. I don't know, I have to see. I'm going to show you guys how everything looks in covers. I have 3 different options. I have a Moterm cover, B6. This is the Veggie Tan that they released recently. I have a Gillio B6, a Punto, and I also have a Vanderspack in 2 different colors here. And then I will show you guys what they look like inside the different covers. So I'll first show you the full year in the Vanderspack. So this is the B6. I didn't make any type of modification, so in case you're curious, there's no modification. And I like to keep the cover out because when I just want to mention that if you do put this in here, chances are, I did put a secretarial. If you put it in here, when you're closing and opening, it might damage the cover, which is why I don't like to do that. So I just kind of keep it like this. So this is what the full year looks like. And I want to show you just this effect. And if I just put it in my bag like this, that's what it looks like. And it just makes me so happy to see the gold edge. Just wanted to share that. This is what it looks like in the Vanderspack. And I'll show you what it looks like with the half year. This is the JL black leather. So that's what the half year looks like. They both fit really well in the B6 of Fender spec because it's very compact. So even the half year doesn't feel like it's swimming in there. And you can actually fit both half year if you want to do that like this. You can actually fit it, no problem. Now let me show you what the Giglio one looks like. So this is the full year first. Okay, so that's the full year. Again, I don't like to put it in here. So that's what it looks like. Just love the gold. I just love seeing the gold because it just adds something special to it. It's like not an ordinary notebook, even though it's called Common Planner. And then let me show you the half year. It is going to be kind of like swimming in there because Giglio is much more spacious compared to Fender spec. But okay. So I did push it all the way to the edge so that I don't see too much space here, but you will end up with like a finger worth of space on the left side. But obviously that's going to change if you put a lot of stickers in here. It's going to blow up a little bit more, but obviously you can also do both half here like this. That's what it's gonna look like. Oops, I didn't slide it in, so it's like kind of swimming around. Yeah, so that's what two half year. I think this would be a good option if you use a separate planner for work or something, or if you decide to use two of these first half, for one for work, one for personal, then you can definitely get the half year and you can put both in one planner. So that's something you can do. Or if you choose to use one notebook for memory keeping and then one notebook for planner, then you can also do that as well. So that's Giglio. And then Multerm is pretty much the same size as Giglio, so it's going to fit the same way. This is the black version, and that's what it looks like. Okay. And I think the black looks good with all types of colors. The mauve too, but I think it looks better with either black and white or like warmer color. But that's what, actually the Multerm doesn't look too bad with the half year either. Maybe it's a little bit big, but you will be able to put your pen here and it should be fine. So yeah, that's what the planners look like with the covers. Okay. So yeah, I hope you found this video to be helpful, and thank you so much again for watching and for all of your amazing feedbacks and for your kind comments. We are really excited about this, and we are just so happy that you guys are excited too. And again, I'll leave all the important information down in the description and also make chapters for this video as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.